So how much does it actually cost to start selling on Amazon in 2026? Ask 10 different YouTubers and you will get 10 different answers. Anywhere from start with like $100 to start with $10,000. The truth is, most of them are trying to sell you something, or they launched 5 years ago when launching was a lot cheaper. So here's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to give you a real, honest, dollar by dollar breakdown of cost of starting the Amazon private label FBA business in 2026. So the actual numbers, what I actually spent when I launched my product in the pet category, which went on to generate 40,000 in 90 days in profits. I'm going to cover every cost from Amazon seller account to advertising fees, including the costs that nobody talks about and they can catch you off guard. So at the end, you'll have a realistic budget on how much money you need to save in order to start Amazon FBA business. So before I start, I want to address why most of the estimates that you hear on internet, on YouTube, are wrong. So a lot of creators give you like a range. You need between $500 and $10,000. So this is technically true, but it's kind of useless. It's like asking how much a car can cost, between $2,000 and $200,000. So it does not help you. Also, many of those cost breakdowns are based on the cheapest scenario. So you look for the cheapest product, you negotiate the lowest price, you skip on the professional images, you spend nothing on ads, and everything goes perfectly the first time. And it rarely does. In reality, things go wrong, shipping can take longer, or you can incur some unexpected costs. Your first ad campaign can burn cash while you learn how to set it up. You might need to reorder inventory sooner than you planned. According to Jungle Scout most recent State of the Seller report, the average Amazon seller spends around $3,000 to $5,000 to get their first product live. And this is actually what aligns with my own experience. So I'm going to break it down into two categories: the one-time costs before your product ever goes live, and also then the ongoing costs and budget that you need to account for. So the first cost is Amazon Professional Seller Account, and this is $39.99. So there are two options. There is an individual plan, which you pay $0.99 per item when you sell the items, and there is a professional plan where you pay $39.99 per month, regardless of how many units you sell. And if you are serious about private label, I recommend professional plan. It also gives you access to features like brand registry, bulk listing tools, advertising, and reporting features that you wouldn't have had on the individual plan. So you are going to be paying this from the moment you create the account, even before your product goes live. So factor in at least 2 or 3 months paying this fee before your product is live on Amazon. So that is roughly $80 to $120 before your first sale. So my actual cost for this, I had already been paying this fee for the couple of my previous products that I tried to sell on Amazon. So I was actually paying this for like 1 year. So this was not a new expense for me. But if you are starting fresh, budget at least $100 for this before your first sale. So number 2 are product samples. So before you commit to a bulk order, you must absolutely order product samples from the suppliers. So order at least 2 or 3 product samples from 2 or 3 different suppliers. And this is not optional. Believe me, those samples will differ in quality. Even if it's the same product, you will see that the quality is so much different between those suppliers. So the samples cost typically like around $20, depending also on the product, but they cost around $20 for the sample, but the shipping from China to the US can cost around $50 to $60. And I recommend ordering samples from at least 3 suppliers. So I will put here in the product sample the cost of $200. So this is for the 3 samples that you want to get from 3 different suppliers. So for my pet product, I ordered samples from 3 different suppliers, and total cost for that was $160. One supplier was clearly better than the other 2. It had better quality, better communication, and they were willing to make my changes, my improvements to the product, so I went on with that supplier. And actually I think this $160 is the best money I have ever spent in my Amazon journey, because you need a high quality product to sell on Amazon. You can't just sell bad quality products like everyone is selling. Next cost, and this is like a biggest cost, is the inventory. So this is the biggest single expense. This is where most of your budget goes. So this cost depends on 3 things: the per unit cost from your manufacturer, how many items you will order from your manufacturer, and also the product itself. For most private label products in the $20 to $50 price range, your manufacturing costs will be somewhere between $3 to $8 per unit. For the first order, I recommend ordering between 300 to 500 units. You want enough products to validate your product idea, but also not so much that you are sitting on thousands of units that you just can't sell. So the math goes like this: if your per unit cost is $6 and you order 500 units, then that is $3,000. If your per unit cost is $4 and you order 300 units, then that's $1,200. Most beginners land somewhere between $1,500 to $3,000 for their first inventory order. But I would estimate here a higher number, like the highest from those 2 numbers. So it's around $3,000 for your first inventory. So my pet product costed me per unit $7.6, and I ordered 500 units. It costed me around $3,800 for my first pet product. One important note: do not max out your budget on an inventory, because you also need money for shipping, marketing, and other unexpected costs. I see so many beginners spending every dollar in inventory, and then they don't have enough money to launch their products with pay-per-click ads on Amazon. And that's actually a recipe for failure, because without pay-per-click ads, when you launch, your product just won't be successful. You need to get that initial traffic to your listing. Cost number 4 is shipping to Amazon. So when your product is manufactured, you need to get it from China to the Amazon fulfillment center. So this can be done by sea shipping or by air shipping. Air shipping is much more expensive, but it's faster. It usually takes like 5 days. Sea shipping is much less expensive, but it takes longer. So it usually takes 1 month. For the beginning, I recommend sea shipping because it's cheaper, but in the meantime, you can do other things to prepare for the launch of your product. So for the sea shipping, I estimate around $700. So I use sea freight for my pet product, and the shipping from China to the US costed me around $700. Also bear in mind that now Amazon won't prep your product, so they won't apply the UPC barcodes or the FNSKU labels to your product. So you will need to ask your manufacturer to do it. They might charge for this like 0.2, 0.20 cents. It depends on the manufacturer, but just make sure you ask the manufacturer to prep, to label your products. The next cost is product photography. So your product images are the single most important factor whether someone clicks on your listing and whether they are going to buy. And this is not a place to cut corners. This is not a place to skim on some cheap product photos, okay? You need at least 1 professional main image photo on a white background and 5 to 7 lifestyle images, including like infographics, lifestyle shots, or some feature callouts. So you have 2 options. You can hire a professional Amazon product photographer, which typically costs between $300 to $500 for a full set of 7 to 10 images. Or you can do a hybrid approach. So get a professional photographer, at least for the main image photography and some lifestyle images, and create your own infographics and secondary images using Canva. So for product photography, here I estimate around $500 for professional photography. So for my pet product, I actually hired a professional photographer for my main image and lifestyle images, and this costed me around $300. Then I created the infographics on my own using Canva, and also I used ChatGPT to help me. The next cost is branding and packaging. So at minimum, you need a logo, you need a basic brand design and product packaging or some labels. So you can get a solid logo done on Fiverr or 99 Designs for like $50 to $150. For packaging, your supplier can actually offer you a simple product packaging for a small charge, usually like 20 to 50 cents per unit added to your manufacturing cost. And if you want premium packaging, then like a branded box with inserts and instruction cards or thank you cards, this will cost more, around $300 for the design plus per unit printing cost. So my actual cost, I had my logo designed for me on Fiverr for $75. My supplier handled the packaging with my branding for a small charge, and this was included in my per unit cost. I also had a simple instruction card printed and a thank you card, and the design for that costed me $60 on Fiverr. So total branding cost for me was $135. So for branding, I would suggest around $200. Then another cost is the UPC barcode. So every product on Amazon needs a barcode, and you can buy a legitimate, and you need a legitimate UPC barcode from GS1 website for just $30 per product per variation. So this is like a simple and straightforward cost, $30. Now, brand registry and trademark. So to access Amazon most powerful tools like A+ content, sponsored brand ads, and Vine reviews program, and also the brand protection, you need to be enrolled in the Amazon brand registry. And to enroll in the Amazon brand registry, you need a trademark. You can file a trademark through USPTO yourself. It costs about $250 for the filing fee if you do it yourself. But I recommend actually going through the Amazon IP Accelerator, because trademark can take several months to be approved. And if you go through the Amazon IP Accelerator, you don't need to wait for the trademark approval to be brand registered. So I actually filed through the Amazon IP Accelerator using one of their attorneys, and it costed me $800. So I actually recommend $800 for the brand registry and trademark. Now we have Helium 10 product research tool. So you need a product and keyword research tool to not only find products, but to also analyze your competition, to track the keywords, to optimize your listing, to prepare keywords for your pay-per-click campaigns. And I use Helium 10 for that, and for me it's essential. You can't really do product research and keyword research without this software. And right now, Helium 10 Platinum is 30% off for the first 6 months. So you can use my coupon code here that I offer, and I will put the link in the description. So it will cost you $90 per month for the first 6 months, and I highly recommend the Platinum plan, as it has everything that you need. So the black box tool, the X-ray tool, the Cerebro, the magnet tools. You can also use this to track your keywords and also to optimize your listing, to prepare keywords for pay-per-click ads. So the Platinum plan will cost you $90 for the first 6 months. So I'm putting here $90. And this tool pays for itself by helping you to avoid the bad products. Then there is Amazon Vine program. If you want to get reviews quickly and legitimately, then Amazon Vine program is your best option. So you just enroll your product, you send up to 30 units to trusted Amazon reviewers, and they leave you honest reviews. So the enrollment fee for this is $200. This is optional, but in my opinion, it's non-negotiable if you are launching your product, because how on earth are you going to get the first reviews? Remember that your friends and family per Amazon policy can't leave a review for your product. And you need at least 20 to 30 Vine reviews in your first month to double your conversion rate. So my actual cost was the 200 units, was the $200, plus the cost of 30 free units, because we are sending those units for free to the Amazon reviewers, which at my per unit cost was about $190. So the total Vine cost was roughly $400 for me. So I put here Amazon Vine program cost, but add to this also the cost of the 30 products that you are going to send for free, that Amazon will going to send for free to Amazon reviewers. Then we have one of the most important things, launch and advertising budget. So this is the cost that most Amazon YouTubers just omit or skip, or they don't talk about it. When you launch a new product on Amazon, you have zero organic ranking. Nobody can find your product unless you pay for visibility through Amazon pay-per-click ads. So for the first month, expect to spend at least $1,000 on advertising. So your ACOS, your advertising cost of sale, will be high at the beginning, maybe 40 to 60%. And this is normal. You are buying visibility, you are training Amazon algorithm to show your product to the right shoppers. So I recommend budgeting at least $1,000 for your first 30 days. After that, as reviews come in, after your organic ranking improves, your ad efficiency will get better, and your spending will be more profitable, and your ACOS will get lower. So I spent around $1,000 on pay-per-click ads on my pet product, and my ACOS started with 50%, and it dropped to 35% after the first month. And by month 3, it was already at below 20%. So I recommend at least $1,000 for launch and advertising. Okay, so let's add everything up. So the total for this is the grand total is $6,759.99. So around $6,800. So this is the total cost of starting and launching your first Amazon private label product. But I want to be clear here. This is what I spent, and I was not cutting corners, okay? I invested in high quality photos, in proper branding, in high quality product with the improvements that I wanted, and I had an advertising budget. You can do it for less, but the question is not what is the absolute minimum, but the question is what gives you the best chance of success. And from my experience, having failed from analysis paralysis, from the push pop toys that also failed, and for the failure with the supplements, I can tell you that underspending on your launch is one of the fastest ways to failure. So now let me tell you about ongoing monthly costs that you will incur. So the monthly costs that you will incur are first Amazon fees per unit sold. So Amazon takes a referral fee, usually 15% of the selling price, plus an FBA fulfillment fee of roughly $3 to $6 per unit, depending on the size and weight. And for a product selling at $25 to $35, you will pay Amazon about $8 to $10 per unit in total fees. So this is built into your margin calculation, and this is not a separate expense. So for my pet product, the Amazon fees per unit sold are $12. Now there are monthly storage fees. So Amazon charges you to store your inventory in their warehouses. Standard size products cost about 87 cents per cubic foot from January to September. And that jumps to $2.40 per cubic foot during the holiday season, so from October to December. And for a typical small product, this is usually a few dollars per month, unless you are sitting on thousands of units. So I would estimate here like $3 per month. Then there's ongoing advertising costs. So after the initial launch, your ad spend will likely settle at 10 to 20% of your revenue. So if you are doing like 10,000 per month in sales, then expect to spend 1,000 to 2,000 on ads. This is normal and healthy, and pay-per-click is cost of doing business on Amazon. So I would estimate here around $2,000 per month on advertising costs. Then there is Helium 10 subscription, which is $90 if you use my coupon code for the first 6 months. Then there are restock costs. So this is the one that people usually forget. So if your product sells well, then you need to reorder before you run out of stock. You can't run out of stock on Amazon, it will kill your ranking. So this means that you need to reinvest some of your revenue into the new inventory. So for my pet product, I placed my second order, like for the 1,500 units, at the end of month 1, and I funded that entirely from the sales that I got from the revenue. So the business was funding its own growth by that point. So restock costs depend on your inventory, but if you ordered inventory before for the $3,000, then it will cost you $3,000 again. Then there are costs that nobody talks about. So let me give you like a few hidden costs that most people don't like skip. So these are the returns. So expect a return rate of 2 to 5%. Returns unit costs you a sale plus a return processing fee from Amazon. So budget this in your margin calculations. Then there's product liability insurance. So once you reach $10,000 on selling on Amazon, Amazon will require from you product liability insurance. So this typically costs around $600 for the whole year. And you may not need it immediately, but just factor that in. When you cross this $10,000 in monthly sales, then you will need to buy the Amazon. Then you will need to buy the product liability insurance. There are also softwares and tools beyond Helium 10 that you might need. For example, some inventory management software, or you can just do it on Excel, like I do. You can need some accounting tools, like for example Xero. I use Xero for my business to help me with accounting. So these are optional, but they can cost around $60 per month. Then there's another cost, your time. Okay. This is cost nobody will put on a spreadsheet. So in the first 3 months, I spent 10 to 15 hours per week on my Amazon business to build it. So researching products, sourcing for the products, building my listing, managing the ads, responding to supplier messages. So this time has value, right? Your time has value. If you are doing this alongside your full-time job, then that time commitment is real, and you should go into it with the open eyes that you will need to just spend more time for the first 6 months. And also the cost of mistakes, okay? So when you order a product and it doesn't sell, and then you might break even or you might lose a little on the inventory. So also factor that in. My push pop toys costed me money. My supplement experiment costed me money because I was doing ads wrong, and which was just a very competitive niche. So I actually treat those costs as tuition, so as costs to learn on how to sell on Amazon. So let me give you a quick summary. So the realistic cost to start Amazon FBA in 2026 is around $6,000. The biggest expenses are inventory, shipping, advertising, and photography. Also the trademark if you want brand registry. Do not under budget your launch. because saving like a few $100s on photos and ads can cost you thousands in sales. So my personal launch that for my pet product that generated over $40,000 in 90 days costed me about $6,000. And the product paid for itself in the first 5 weeks. If you are a beginner and you want a complete step-by-step roadmap on how to sell on Amazon, so everything from product research, from keyword research, from sourcing, to building your listing, to creating your pay-per-click ads, to launching, I have built a course called Stay at Home Success Plan, and it walks you through the entire process. So if you want that, I have a link in the description. It's designed for people who are just starting out and they want to avoid the costly mistakes that I did. If this video helped you, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel for more Amazon related videos. Drop a comment below if this video helped you. Thank you and have a great day. Bye!